Going across to Jammu and Kashmir, the Assembly session presently is on, and this is the first, remember, since Umar Abdullah has become the Chief Minister. But there's complete commotion. Look at that. All right, there appears to be tempers flying high, banners being torn. These are, from what I can gather, these are the BJP leaders, the NDA leaders who are from Jammu and Udhampur. From what I can recognize, they clearly seem agitated. There are RS Pathania from the BJP. There is Mr. Gupta, who's the Udhampur MLA, an old guard, senior face, other leaders. These are clearly the BJP leaders. They seem agitated over an issue, but we'll try and find out. Remember what has happened in the past 2 to 3 days. The PDP tried to bring a reference point with regard to the Article 370 to be restored. Then the National Conference focused on the statehood, as they've said, that is their promise. So you can see on the left side are the leaders of the Congress, of the National Conference. On the right are the BJP. Let's try and understand what's happening. So see here, that's Irfan Hafiz Loan from the Congress party, one of the few from the Congress who had won the Wagura seat. But you can clearly see a lot of anger. I'm trying to understand what the issue precisely is about, but this has been since day one. Either it's the PDP NC fighting against each other, or it's the BJP. All right, the marshals have come in, the security, and plus because it's the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, this has added on. Look at that from the visuals earlier, full-on clash. This is the government that has been finally formed for J&K. And look at the situation on the ground. Full-on scuffle. Looks like a fist fight while the marshals and the cops are trying to keep each other at bay. This is what the Netas formed a government for. So they can wrestle each other rather than focus on the ground for the issues of Jammu Kashmir. Background. This is the first Jammu Kashmir Assembly session in almost 6 years now, ever since there was the governor's rule, then the elections happened. Look at that. Unbelievable. There is clearly an object at hand that everyone's charging at. And on the right, I can see the MLAs who are struggling, and clearly the cops and the marshals are having a very tough time to keep the Netas at bay. An object that has led to... All right, so that is Wahid Para right in the middle. He's the PDP's Pulwama MLA in the white. There are other senior leaders on the left of the National Conference and other parties. On the right are the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA leaders, basically. This is so bizarre. These Netas had come together to be elected to fight for issues for people. There's this banner, you see the banner on the left, that has become clearly the bone of contention. That's all right, so that's the banner everyone's fighting at. We'll try and find out what's written in that banner. That has led to the ire of the leaders, looks like specifically of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Remember that while the National Conference has been asking for statehood, I mean, this would be comical, hilarious, if it was not as serious as we are talking about a conflict region of Jammu Kashmir. Ashraf Vani is joining me for the latest. Ashraf, what's happening?
Pooja, actually this is the last day of first session of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Today is the 4th day and this session was called for 4 days. Yesterday National Conference passed the resolution, being the in absolute majority in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. They passed the resolution. It was brought by the Deputy Chief Minister himself and was and was also supported by the Sakina Yathu. Yesterday also there was some kind of opposition from the BJP MLAs on the issue, but the speaker then called off the assembly for yesterday, and during yesterday evening there was a strategy adopted by the BJP to oppose this resolution in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Today, as assembly started this session, there was a lot of protests as the BJP MLAs came in the well to protest against the move of National Conference and the government for the resolution of Article 370 and special status for the Jammu and Kashmir. The National Conference MLAs as well as PDP MLAs all came in the well, and there was a scuffle, as you are seeing in the visual, sort of manhandling with each other. MLAs from Bharatiya Janata Party in clash with the PDP MLA Wahid Parra as well as with the National
Ashraf,
Conference MLAs.
it looks like they're wrestling over some banner. Any information, any idea what was in that banner that caught the ire of all these leaders?
Basically, we have seen there is a lot of fight going on between the MC and PDP.
Okay,
Everyone wants us to take the this resolution on his behalf. This banner was put by the Engineer Rashid MLA, Khurshid Ahmed, who is the brother of Engineer Rashid, and because he is sitting next to the PDP MLA Wahid Parra, both of them were saying that the Article 370, we need the revocation of Article, abrogation of the revocation back of Article 370. That was in the banner which was not allowed by some of the BJP MLAs to be displayed in the assembly, and that resulted the scuffle between the MLAs of the opposition as well as of the ruling party and the PDP and the Engineer Rashid's MLA. Basically, it is clearly being seen as a division between the, which was so far kept away, the division between the MLAs from the Jammu region as well as against the MLAs from the Kashmir region. And in the MLAs with the Kashmir region, there are also some of the National Conference from the Jammu region. So completely a scuffle between the BJP and the PDP and National Conference MLAs first, then to take the advantage of the resolution, it was a kind of a scuffle between the PDP and the National Conference. So a lot of chaos in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. So far for the half an hour, the Speaker of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly has put halt to the proceedings in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. As I said, that today is the final day of this inauguratory session of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Probably these are the final moments of this session in the Jammu and Kashmir.
Very interesting, Ashraf. In one of the visuals, I see that Sajjad Lone is not really a part of the wrestling on either side. He's instead in the background somewhere shaking hands with other leaders. But what you said is right, it is correct. And I just want to bring that to the notice of the viewer. It's a 90-member assembly. The reason you see this scuffle also is because of the number of MLAs. So National Conference with others in total have about 50. But BJP also has about 30. So therefore, the numbers are very good for both sides to be able to strongly put their mark. But it is in many ways Jammu and Kashmir MLAs that are fighting against each other. Now, Sadin Sharma, who's J&K BJP chief, is joining me right now. Sir, क्या हो रहा है ये? ये तो इसलिए सेशन हुआ था कि लोगों के लिए काम होगा. ये तो आपस में ही भिड़ गए.
ऐसा है कि कल की परिस्थितियां आपने देखी हैं और जिस तरीके से रेजोल्यूशन पेश किया गया, हालांकि वो किसी भी तरीके से इस कार्य का हिस्सा नहीं था, उसके बावजूद इसको पेश किया गया और बगैर किसी डिस्कशन के हर एक का हक है किसी बात को लेकर बैल के बीच में जाना, अपनी बात रखना, लेकिन असंवैधानिक तरीके से जिस तरीके से स्पीकर साहब ने इसको बगैर किसी इंटीमेशन के और ये कह के कि ज्यादा लोग जो हैं, ज्यादा मेंबर्स ने हाँ कहा है और उसको पारित कर दिया, ये असंवैधानिक है. इसी के चलते हालांकि हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता चाहते थे इसके ऊपर डिस्कशन हो. जिस तरीके से ये कहा गया कि यूनिलैटरली जो स्पेशल स्टेटस था इसको हटाया गया, आप खुद सोचिए क्या ये यूनिलैटरली हटाया गया? संविधान के दायरे में रहकर पार्लियामेंट में इसकी डिस्कशन हुई. 5 अगस्त 2019 और 6 अगस्त 2019 दोनों जो सदरों से जो था इसके ऊपर प्रॉपर डिस्कशन के बाद इसको निरस्त किया गया। लेकिन जो असंवैधानिक तरीके से ये कार्य हुआ है ये बरसना योग्य है और हम लोग चाहते हैं कि इसकी प्रॉपर जांच भी होनी चाहिए। अगर इन्होंने तौहीन की है, जो पार्लियामेंट की तौहीन की है, ये कहते हुए कि कोई डिस्कशन जो थी पार्लियामेंट में नहीं हुई है, और मेरा मानना है कि जो लोग भी इसमें इन्वॉल्व हैं, चाहे ऑनरेबल स्पीकर हैं या जो भी कोई मेंबर्स हैं जिन्होंने इसे पेश किया या कोई जिन्होंने इसे सेकंड किया, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई भी जो है वो होनी चाहिए। और आज
तो बीजेपी वाले क्यों गुस्से में क्यों थे, ये हमें बताइए क्यों? क्योंकि बाकी जो दूसरी साइड है।
आप क्या समझते हैं कि जब पूरे जम्मू प्रोविंस ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट दिए तो क्या सोचकर वोट दिए हैं? हम लोग अपने जम्मू, और हम लोग कभी नहीं ये कहते थे कि सिर्फ जम्मू के हकों की रक्षा हो, हम कहते हैं कि जम्मू कश्मीर के हकों की रक्षा हो, दोनों संभागों के साथ एक जैसा बर्ताव हो। लेकिन उमर अब्दुल्ला और उसकी टीम ने बता दिया, और स्पीकर ने जब नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का कार्यकर्ता होने के नाते जो है वो एक्ट किया, वो अपने आप में बताता है कि संविधान के प्रति इनका कितना प्यार है। आपके ध्यान में होना चाहिए कि 2016 में भी जो वातावरण बनाने की कोशिश की गई थी, चाहे वो नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस थी, कांग्रेस थी, उनके माध्यम से यहाँ का वातावरण जो था वो खराब करने की कोशिश की गई थी, और वैसा ही वातावरण जो है उनके माध्यम से वहाँ खराब करने की कोशिश की जा रही है।
Okay, Sat Sharma ji is the JNK BJP chief. He is speaking about why he thinks no discussion is being allowed, nothing is being done, and there are some resolutions being passed, there are proposals that are being put out. But look at what you see on your screen. So just to give you a perspective, it appears that the National Conference leaders who are currently in the government, they appear to have put out not just banners but references. Ashraf, I bring you in here. So just give us more details of, we were expecting this kind of a confrontation, but more in terms of as legislators, not literally a fist fight, jumping on each other. Look at how the senior police officials who've been on duty, the marshals who've been deployed, immediately try to intervene, but they also realize that they've been outnumbered by the MLAs. All right, so the bill says we demand the restoration of Article 370, release of the prisoners. Now this banner, the restoration of Article 370, that has been made all clear. That it's abrogated, it's out, and it's the Naya Jammu Kashmir that is with complete integration now to India. But this, remember, in many ways, also because it's a part of the Parliament Assembly, you can see complete chaos that engulfs, and that's when the BJP leaders jump in. That's one of the leaders I can see is R.S. Pathania from the BJP. NDA leaders are not happy. They immediately charge at it. There are about 29-30 BJP MLAs. Ashraf, if you can hear me, I bring you in here. So it's that banner that clearly led to what, and I see in the middle one of the few PDP MLAs, that's Wahid Para.
Yes, absolutely. Now, for our viewers, we can just brief that what actually happened.
Yes.
As you said, the AIP MLA, who is the brother of Engineer Rashid, because Engineer Rashid is currently in the jail.
Correct.
He's the parliament member from the Baramulla. His brother has won the Langate Assembly constituency in the elections, and he came with the banner which was highlighting the restoration of, we demand restoration of Article 370, release of all the people who are in the different jails of the country, and the special states of the Jammu and Kashmir. This was the banner which was intentionally brought by this particular MLA, Khurshid Ahmed Sheikh from Langate, and he is a member of Awami Ittihad Party, Engineer Rashid's party. When BJP, because they were already angry and they had adopted this strategy that they are going today to protest against the resolution what was brought yesterday in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, as they saw this banner, they jumped on the Khurshid and snatched that banner from his hand. And for the Khurshid's rescue, the PDP MLAs came in, including Wahid Parra, including some of the National Conference MLAs also, to protect the Engineer Rashid's banner. So there was that kind of a scuffle on the banner between the two sides. On one side it was BJP, on the other side it was Engineer Rashid's MLA as well as the PDP MLA, including Wahid Parra, who is the main voice for the PDP in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. So that scuffle you can see in these visuals, how there is a kind of a war on the banner. The PDP as well as the National Conference MLAs as well as the Engineer Rashid MLA, AIP MLA want to display that in the banner, that banner in the house, and the BJP MLAs did not want, so they snatched it finally that banner. And
but Ashraf, then this is the role of the speaker that comes here. If I'm correct, Abdul Rahim Rathar is currently the speaker. And in that way, then what about Omar Abdullah? Is he there in the assembly? I don't see him in this scuffle because these are the senior leaders who are supposed to be stopping it, but I don't see anything happening on that front.
Yes, Pooja, because Omar Abdullah was not present initially in the assembly, not he was seen around there. But we have seen that, as I said earlier, today is the final day of this inaugural session of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. The business set for this session was to elect the speaker and then to condole all those legislatures and the leaders, elected leaders of the country who had passed during that period when the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly was not in force. But we have seen from day one, all went against the rules and against the proceedings of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. On first day, as I said earlier, when there was the election of the speaker, as he was elected, when he allowed, I was here in the assembly on that day also, when he allowed the speakers to thank the speaker, when he called the name of Wahid Parra from PDP, and he got out a paper from his pocket and said that he has brought a letter and requesting the speaker for the restoration of Article 370 and a resolution for the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. That was not being absorbed and adopted by the National Conference because, as you know, clearly you have covered the Jammu and Kashmir election. Yes. There is a inside scuffle between PDP and the National Conference to take credit on the bringing of resolution on the in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly for the restoration of Article 370. We have seen it was a part of a manifesto of the
PDP supporters are saying National Conference hasn't done enough. There was a reason they were elected, but National Conference says it has to be done in phases, slowly and steadily, and it will be done. But look at these. These are live visuals. Ashraf, please stay on with me. The clashes continue. They have been separated by the benches, but these are the BJP leaders who are now speaking. Let's try and listen in if any of these leaders are speaking right now. The ones you're looking at are the leaders from Jammu area, Jammu, Udhampur. Because remember the Jammu region specifically, not as much upper reaches, but voted massively and en masse for the BJP. So we are looking at RS Patania BJP, Pawan Kumar Gupta, Udhampur MLA, all of that and more other leaders as well. 29 in total of the BJP as opposed to total 50 of the National Conference and the other independents who joined them. But it was the physical scuffle over now, Article 370. But also, let's be very clear. And I'll take that to Ashraf on this. Ashraf, Home Minister Amit Shah, barely about 2 months ago, had made it very clear that Article 370 is history. It is never coming back. And governments will not bow down to the separatists. It is abrogated in 2019 and that's it. But do you think it's the pressure on National Conference now to kind of at least do a posturing with the PDP that they'll fight for it?
Pooja, actually, all these legislatures, including the parties, including the parties like National Conference, PDP, Congress, they are all aware that 370 is not going to come back. It has been revoked. It can't be restored without the parliament again. So, but the politics of these all regional parties, including the mainly the really basic parties, is around the 370. We have seen since day one when the Article 370 was abrogated on 5th August 2019, there was a lot of protests. First, all these leaders were put under the detention. Then, when they released it, they have given the bond that they would not take any kind of a protest or any kind of rally against the application of Article 370. Then they were released from the jail. When then finally the democratic process started in the Jammu and Kashmir for the elections which were conducted in 2024, very well and successful elections with the maximum participation of the people all across the Jammu and Kashmir, particularly in the Kashmir Valley. The main focus of all these regional parties, mainly the National Conference and PDP and the Engineer Rashid Party as well as the Punjab People's Conference was that we are going to bring back what has been snatched from the Jammu and Kashmir, from the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And on that issue, the people in the valley...
and then, Ashraf, what happens to this? I request you to please stay on because you're looking at Abdul Rahim Rathar. He's a senior leader, National Conference. He's now the Speaker of the Assembly. It appears he's saying something, trying to calm down tempers. Let's listen in. So that is the BJP leaders, mainly all from the Jammu region. They have said that Vapas lo. Ashraf, I bring you here. Are they saying take it back, Vapas lo for the J&K Assembly that passed the resolution for the restoration of the special status? But was that restoration of special status or the statehood? Can you just give us details on that?
Pooja, the BJP MLA is only demanding that the resolution which was passed yesterday by the Assembly should be taken back. That is the only demand. And also, as I said you earlier, yesterday BJP chalked out this plan for today that they are not going to allow this resolution to get passed in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly without any discussion. But being the National Conference as well as support to other parties in the power and having the absolute majority, with the consent of the Speaker of the Rathar, who is also the leader of the senior leader of the National Conference, who passed this resolution. As I said, it was brought by the Deputy Chief Minister, who is from the Jammu, who has won against the Ravinder Raina, the BJP state chief then in the Naushera Assembly constituency. That was very tactfully brought by the voice from the Jammu region, the resolution for the special status of the... But if we go through the wording and the complete draft of that resolution, there is not any mention of 370. There is only mention of that the special status of Jammu and Kashmir should be restored. That was the resolution which was passed by the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly yesterday. And today, all the legislators from the Bharatiya Janata Party only are demanding that resolution should be taken back from the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, as it was not part of the business. It was not, the resolution was not passed with any kind of a discussion. As you heard, one of the legislators of BJP just 2 minutes back, he was also saying that we can discuss on this resolution, but after discussion only it should be passed. But it was passed by the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly without any discussion.
Okay, so that's what they are saying. That's what the BJP is saying. Why not have a discussion on that? Leader of opposition Sunil Sharma, we see angry and trying to, that's the BJP camp. Very interesting that one of the few PDP MLAs, Wahid Para, neither with NC nor with BJP, also trying to intervene. But what you're looking at is reflective of a deeper concern when it comes to Jammu Kashmir. While we are still battling terrorism, extremism, radicalization, the recent incidents, it's the political fissures. It's the Jammu region and the Kashmir region and the Kashmir Valley. The kind of what the people views are, that's what you see. And perhaps we hope Netas can come together and work eventually for the welfare of people on the ground. So that's the big news. Our colleagues continue to be on this big story. So remember that J&K Assembly now has a leader of opposition as well. That's Sunil Sharma. He's been former minister as well. And the BJP leader in many ways is leading this BJP delegation. Look at the anger that you see. Remember, this is very strong vote bank that they are reflecting. BJP and the Jammu region, who have voted en masse for the Bharatiya Janata Party, even though they didn't form the government. It's reflective of a certain nationalist, integrating with India vote bank. While for the Kashmir Valley, perhaps there are people who want the Article 370 to be restored, special status to be restored. That's what the PDP is currently charging at. Look at that, falling over each other. This is only the first week of the Assembly. Recently, the Assembly session that had started. Today is the last day, as Ashraf is telling us. It was not supposed to be the fireworks, but because of the resolution that was passed yesterday by the J&K Assembly on the restoration of special status, BJP is asking what restoration and how can you pass a resolution without even having a discussion about it. So we are leaving you with these visuals and perhaps a reminder that tensions still prevail with regard to J&K politics.